I only wanted to really just get you guys together and just kind of go over client expectations. I don't know what you guys are doing with that, but I feel like it's a big piece that we're actually working on right now, when it comes to onboarding and all of that stuff. So I kind of want to just get a vibe from you guys on how you're doing it, or if you are doing it with when it comes to onboarding new clients. Do you have email sequences that go out, like kind of telling them, hey, this is what we're doing next, or here's how this goes, or anything like that, pretty much? So are anyone on the call right now, anyone can answer, is there some kind of expectation being set during the sales call and after it?
Yeah, I what I usually do is during an onboarding call, I just tell them I'm gonna like send you a weekly email breaking down what we're working on with the Google ad campaign.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, so I'm talking like expectation wise, like what product are you onboarding? Google Ads or Facebook or
Yeah, Google ad lead generation.
Okay. So do you have any kind of expectation like when it comes to like the learning phase of a campaign or what you should expect the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, anything like that?
Yeah, I tell them it's gonna take like 30 days to really get it up and dialed in. About a month to like, you know, get everything kicked in and
Yeah.
test everything. That's pretty much what I say.
Cool. Yeah. So we're doing something similar right now. Well, we've been for a long time where essentially Justin does that on the sales call. So he'll go to the client during the sales call and tell them what to expect the first 30, 60, 90 days. And then when they become a client, they actually pay, sign up, they get an onboarding email afterwards that goes out that has videos of what to expect in each of those phases. It works really effectively and quashes a lot of questions that come after somebody onboards. So it might be something to think about implementing. You can do it in like, do you use GHL at all, Oscar?
Yeah, that's what I go high level.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah. So you can build that out easily to just automatically go out after someone's triggered as an onboard, and it really helps with retention and just answering people's questions. What's up, Evan? So it's definitely something you might want to think about building in more because there's only so much that you can do. And we had this conversation earlier at one of our company meetings where a guy signed up with us 2 weeks ago and he's emailing in support about the learning phase already. After Justin told him 3 times about it, after he got 4 emails about it. So it's like they don't read them, right? Anyway, so the more you can do, the more it's going to help because they don't read anything you send them. They don't listen when you're talking to them. They're just want their leads and that's all they really care about. So setting proper expectations during like the sales call and after, like post sales call, is something you guys definitely want to do. I don't know, besides you, who's doing it, but Gary, do you do any kind of expectation setting?
Yes,
Yeah.
I really hit that hard because early on I was probably signing up clients that really shouldn't have Google Ads, so I'm really careful they know what's going on.
Yeah. It's hard too because a lot of people don't even understand how Google Ads works. Like my wife's a perfect example. I've been doing this 10 years, longer than that, and she still doesn't understand what we do. Like she has no idea. And I don't know how she doesn't, but I've explained to her 50 times. But people just they don't get it, especially small business owners who just understand like, oh, I can get leads when someone searches in Google. So it's important too on those sales calls when you're closing the client that you just a lot of it is education, right? And we've come to realize this a lot in the white label game from working with our agencies, is we're constantly like educating on like how to sell clients, how Google Ads works and all of this stuff. So if you guys can pre-package some of that into the post sales call when the onboarding I'm talking about, it's only going to help with retention like insanely well. Bill, what about you, bud? You got any retention stuff?
Yeah, I'll do that too. And I only have a couple right now. I haven't really blown it out. But I will stay in touch with them weekly.
Yeah.
And the thing I really want them to do is stay clean on their LSAs.
Yeah.
And so I'll go ahead and initiate the GHL stuff. So we haven't had any problems with that, but it does kind of look like they're running out of leads.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think maybe Google doesn't have enough leads to go out. I'm
I
not sure. I'm not sure
listen,
about
I
that.
don't know. Only they got it's a black box, right? I mean, only they
Yeah.
know, but it's
Yeah, phases.
what's up?
the LSAs are so inconsistent, and
It's so
Yeah.
frustrating.
I have a garage door guy in New Jersey, and we, he was up, and then he was down because he moved address, and it took months to get him back up.
Yeah.
Anyway, they went back up, and right away, I mean, like several calls a day from the LSAs, and I mean, we
Yeah.
got like 25 calls in 2 weeks, and I got guys out here with way bigger weekly budgets and bigger geos, and not even close to that many calls from LSA in the same category. It's just
It's completely insane. It doesn't make any sense. Like I say this all the time, but it's because it's so frustrating. And I really, really hope they pull their shit together because it could be an amazing product if it just worked the way it was supposed to. And maybe Bill's right. Maybe they're just struggling to distribute it evenly across. I mean, how many in Philadelphia, how many roofers can you possibly distribute all the leads to? I mean, if you're going, there's got to be hundreds of them that are signed up, or you know what I mean? At least 50, 100 are signed up for LSA. Like, how can it doesn't really make sense how all one or two are getting all of the leads, right?
mhm.
Like, so how do they figure that out to divvy up the leads? I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, to me, that kind of makes sense a little bit because the guys, the big roofers, I mean, the really big guys that are nationally advertised, I mean, they just want all the leads they can get, whether it's from Google ads or anything else.
Yeah,
So I think, and if I were Google, I'd give all my leads to them too. But
yeah,
roofers are a funny bunch because it comes and goes in streaks. You know that all of a sudden a roofer will want 50 leads and then he'll want none.
yeah.
And it kind of gets crazy that way. So,
I think the biggest thing for me of why it's so frustrating is because you set it up and it starts out of the gate doing really well, usually. Sometimes not. Evan, you
yeah.
know this better than anybody. And then, but when it works really, really well, and then it just goes into a fucking nosedive out of
We'll
nowhere.
just
Yep.
do
And it's just
nothing.
like they're
I
no
have a
help.
guy that went to zero.
Yeah,
He's getting like pretty consistent, like I don't know, 6 to 10 calls a month, and then just I think in April went to like one call for,
yeah,
and I rate the calls every week. You know,
yeah.
just like all the other ones.
It's crazy, man. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why the product does
They
that.
don't know anything. They're not helpful at all.
No,
They just make up stuff like,
they do. It's like the
oh,
Google ad
yeah,
support.
add 100 more photos. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. We're going through the big suspension phase right now, right? So we're getting hit with all the suspensions, Google Ads account suspensions for all this like random shit, and
oh yeah,
having to appeal that. I feel like this is like a seasonal thing. Like every like May, June, I don't know what it is. The algorithm goes nuts, and they start suspending everyone's accounts. So we have to go in and we have to do all this stuff, and it's like it's actually worse this year than it was last year. I mean, they're getting recovered. It's fine. It's suspensions for dumb shit like overdue payments and stuff like that.
hmm
But or suspicious payments. I just don't know like why it's like it's working against their best interests. I don't understand why they do dumb shit like this.
I I mean, I just feel like they're monopoly. Like this garage door guy I was telling you about it. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't even tell you how many documents I sent over proving that and the only thing he did was move his LSA ad, it didn't match up with his address on Google Business, and
Oh
they
yeah.
have to match up. It's because he moved in the time that he had,
Yeah.
and it took 6 months to get Google Business approved. I mean, videos and pictures and documents and documents and documents. Finally got it approved, and then he moved, and then they were like, "Oh, it doesn't match," and just they shut down the LSA and the ads, and probably 3 months of they would
Yeah.
ask for the same documents. Oh, send us pictures of his equipment and this and that. I'm like, man, you just asked for that the last 2 times, and it's
Unbelievable.
a week. It's a week after you send in those documents, then they respond with something else stupid, and they would just ask for something new every
Yeah.
single. Finally, we got it approved, but
Yeah.
it was, yeah. In fact, they denied the last one. They said that utility bill it is not acceptable, and I just responded like, it's been 3 months. We've
It's
sent you multiple utility
yeah.
bills, and then they didn't respond. They just said approved.
It's like they have a vendetta against this guy or something. Like
Yeah, yeah. He's always paid on time. Never an
it's
issue.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
How have your Facebook stuff been? Have you guys been any issues with that?
We're just
Ad
we're
accounts?
just kind of rolling out the new ones that I talked to you about.
Yeah.
really started those yet. I don't do a whole lot of Facebook um, for our clients. I mean, I haven't really had, I don't have enough Facebook to really
Yeah.
be an issue. I just have a few restaurants that it's not really my niche, but I've been working with them forever. So
Restaurants seem like they would be a fun one to be in. I mean, it's pretty basic, right? It's just
yeah, it's
updating
not that hard. The hard part is they're, well, one of them's really good. It's a real big restaurant, and a
yeah,
couple of the others they just never want to spend much money, or do any discounts or any offers. And it's like,
yeah.
dude, all your competition is doing offers. So
Oh my God.
they're all right. They're pretty simple.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. So I think I don't know if I talked about this on our last call, but my uncle started lives in Buffalo, New York, not far from Sue actually. I think she's in Rochester, or Albany. But he started a bounce house, like an indoor bounce house business.
Mhm.
And he has no idea. First off, he comes to me, we build him a website in GHL, and it was like he's the worst fucking client I ever had in my life. He was texting me things. He's like, I need you to put all this text here, and it was like an image. And I like, dude, you got to type it out. Like, I'm not typing this out for you. Like, he's just all day long. He's sending me all these changes, and then finally he's like, oh, we're gonna run Facebook ads. I'm like, dude, I'm not even. I can't. Like, I can't do it. Like, I'll help you, whatever you need to do. I'll point you in the right direction. But like, I knew it was gonna be a disaster for him. And then I ended up being my cousin, his son, ended up going through one of our things. I gave him our internal SOPs or whatever, and
Yeah.
he built a simple Facebook ad, man, and they got like hundreds of people who were just like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And then they had their opening day, and they got flooded with people. So like,
Oh,
that shit
nice.
works, man. For like the localized stuff like that, like restaurants, like any kind of
Yeah.
local business stuff like that, it kills it, man. If you could target the
Yeah.
local radius,
hmm Yeah. We did the Cinco de Mayo one for this big Mexican restaurant, and he just told me about it last minute. I kept asking him for like, what are you doing? Because he
yeah,
always has entertainment and music and stuff. And I ran it, I think, Wednesday before the weekend, and he was like, man, it was slammed all weekend.
it's awesome. You love hearing that too, you know?
Yeah. We didn't even spend that much. It was like
Yeah, you don't have
five.
to if you do it right. You know,
Yeah.
we have a Junker Mobile guy who was like made us a testimony video like last week, and he was like telling Justin, he's like, "This, I'm a local celebrity." He's like, "I go into the grocery store, I go get my hair cut." People like, "Oh, I saw you on Facebook. You're the guy," because his ads are like everywhere in
Oh,
his
yeah.
local area, and then we retarget everything on top of that, so he's constantly bombarded like his
Yeah.
face everywhere. It's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah. That's funny.
I was
Right on.
telling Ed if he's on because Ed's single and if he's on the dating apps, I'm like, dude, you should run retargeting ads in your in your area where you're on the dating apps. Just run your face in front of all these girls, target the age range you want.
Now he's a
You'll be a
celebrity.
celebrity, man, on the dating apps.
That is true. It's funny. There's a pizza guy here called Pizza Man Dan, and
Mm,
can't miss it because he always wears these unique outfits. The guy's great at marketing.
good branding.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? It was so we were talking before you hopped on, we were talking about setting up client expectations and how we have a sequence that goes out after somebody signs up and during the sales call, all that stuff. Do you guys in your agency have any kind of like, expectations of like, hey, here's what happens the first 30, 60, 90
Yeah. Yeah.
touch
I always,
points?
before we even started, just say like, hey, your ads are about to launch.
Yeah.
You know, these are because we talked about them obviously on the phone call, but I also sent out, message like this is what to expect.
Yeah.
And like we met in the group, like we talked about I've found the more frequent communication, the lower your churn's going to be. Even if the results are not great, if you're talking to the customers a lot,
Yep.
they're. I always say people do business with people. I have a guy that I mentioned last week that's referring me clients now because he retired from the Yellow Pages, and their
Yep.
programs suck.
Terrible, man.
His clients loved him so much because he's super detailed and he remembers everything about everybody, like happy birthday.
That's
And,
awesome.
and he had all big key accounts, these were
Yeah.
big accounts. And um, he's like, they're calling him like, well, who do I go to now that I'm not going to you? And I'm like, his results sucked. I mean, it wasn't his fault because he's
Yeah.
working for a big company, but his results sucked. But his clients love him because he just would always
It goes a
communicate.
long way, man. It really
Mhm.
does.
Yeah,
I feel bad for
definitely.
Justin because he's the one who sells everybody and then everyone goes back to him for everything and he's like go to support like this is
Yeah.
He's got to hand
Yeah,
it back off
everybody
to
wants to
support.
talk to their sales guy.
Yeah, exactly. And like and he's just like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. He's texting me. He's like, "Oh, we got to do that." I'm like, "Dude, go to bed. Like, go to bed. What are you
Yeah,
doing?" You know?
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's
That's the advice I would give is just
something, right? More
talk
touch
to your
points.
clients as much as possible. You know, I always look for a reason to, like, if they get a negative review, I'll just take a screenshot of it and text it to them and say, "Hey, this came in. Do you want me to help you address it?" And
Yeah.
I know, I know they get notified too, but a lot of times they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, thank you, you know, for being on top of it." And just little stuff like that can
Yeah.
really help.
I mean, most people don't even pay attention. At least a
Mhm.
lot of our guys don't for that kind of stuff. But do you do like review management stuff and all like the
We just include it with the GHL stuff. I don't
nice.
charge extra for it. But I do make sure that they're on top of it because, you know, if they get a negative reputation, then it's really hard to run the ads and
Yeah, definitely.
start to
People
work
start
for
Googling,
them.
it's problematic.
Yeah, and it's like mostly just getting them to ask for reviews. That's the
Yeah.
I can always tell when they're asking for them, they're getting reviews pretty consistently. If they don't ask for them, they don't get anything. And I just tell them, you know, one bad review, it doesn't hurt somebody that has 200 reviews, but if they have
Yeah,
10, it really
exactly.
hurt them. So just little stuff like that. I don't charge extra for it, but they appreciate it.
I like how you bundle a lot of stuff that's just easy to fulfill anyway, because of
Yeah,
GHL makes it so easy. Did you watch
yeah.
the Frank Kern training yet?
Uh,
He did the GHL. I don't know. I got like 50 emails about it from Go High Level. Frank
oh
Kern, I guess, did a webinar about how to sell or get trials for GHL or all that stuff. I didn't see it yet, but I know
no,
it was popular.
I haven't seen it. Yeah,
No.
I don't make any money on GHO. It's just I
Yeah.
just tell them, hey, we have the CRM that manages all your leads, and I
Hmm.
just give them everything with it, you know, except the AI. I don't give that for
Yeah.
free, but you know,
Right.
we give all the reputation management and everything for it, and I just kind of built it into our minimum pricing for managing
Nice.
it.
Cool. Who else on here uses Go High Level for or High Level for all of that stuff? CRM, leads, Bill, Oscar, nice.
Yeah.
Landing
Yes.
pages,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Leads, landing pages, CRM.
Do you guys do websites as a service as well?
Nope. We're going to though. I'm getting everything organized right now on all that stuff.
Yeah, nice.
I just exited the roofing company, so I've had
Yeah,
all that going on at the same time. So
yeah, it's a lot, man.
it's well, it's been a nice 50 years, and
Yeah,
it's kind of like my baby, and I'm kind of like, dressing it up as it goes out the door.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're
which is
we're
good.
um we're in the process right now of trying to find a GMB, local GMB agency to buy. We have a couple
Okay.
fishing lines out there, the people we're talking to, but we want to bolt that on, cross sell it, lead gen for it, all that stuff. Like our goal is to sell our agency in 18 to 24 months. Like we want to be
Yeah, there you go.
and move
Well,
on to other things.
there's a lot of private equity out there right now.
Oh yeah, we've talked to a few already. We have interest, but not the multiple we want to leave at. So we're just
Yeah.
they're like, you got to get like just a little bit more, and then you would hit this like exponential multiple. So we got a little bit of work to do. That's why we're trying to find a GMB to bolt on that we can immediately
Yeah.
cross sell and bump up. Because we have a big list of customers we can just go right to. And
I know you know what you're doing, but you really got to watch those guys.
who?
The, the private equity guys, you got to
Oh,
watch
for
it.
sure. Yeah,
When
yeah,
you get to that point, it
yeah,
gets pretty complicated, and then no compete and all that stuff.
yeah,
So
definitely. And also the stuff with staying on for X amount of time. Like, like I don't. I'm not trying to have a fucking job after I.
I work my way out of that one.
Yeah, good. So
I
you
got a
got
plan.
PE bought you?
Huh? Yeah.
PE bought you? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It was
That's awesome.
kind of say it's life changing, but I've still got goals. I want to go out there and help a bunch of guys. So
Yeah,
I want to get about 20 roofers under my wing and do something there, and I still haven't figured it all out. At first you
you
dive
go
in
though,
and you
man.
try to do everything.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then
you
you go
speak the
like,
language.
well,
That's half the battle. So,
oh yeah.
you
Yeah, and it's
know,
a crazy language, man.
yeah. It's hard to compete against somebody like myself. It's hard for me to compete against somebody like you who's actually had a roofing business, sold it, done it for 50 years. They're
Yeah.
obviously going to trust you over they're going to trust me. No matter what I can show them, doesn't matter. They're going to trust
Yeah.
you because you've been in the trenches doing it.
Well, it's crazy because the first 25 years, I thought I knew it all, but I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get over the hump until, 30 years.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
now I understand. Now I understand everything about what everybody's doing. So it's kind of weird, kind of cool.
Wow, man. Well, congrats on that. That's cool. That's a huge
Thank
accomplishment,
you.
man, to get bought like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll see how it works. It might come back to me. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But
Hey,
yeah, it's
Bill,
a lot of fun. I've been very lucky. So
Awesome.
I've
I
been
need
good.
to talk to you, Bill. I'm getting ready to start some ads for a roofing client of mine. And
Yeah,
I'm just like, he's got all different, obviously the commercial, the residential, he's got metal fabrication, he's got construction, and he's like he's never done any advertising. It's
Yeah.
all just, reputation and word of mouth. And so, but
and 80% of your roofers out there are just like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's only really the top guys that graduate to the PPC game. Now all that's going to change because of AI.
Yeah.
So we're kind of looking to see what happens. And I got a question or two for Rob about what's coming up in the future, like
Sure.
when you get to the position of maybe you're going to spend 30 grand a month on, PPC for a roofer. The
Yeah.
negative keyword game is a big play. And
Yeah. It's huge.
I was going to ask you about your PPC, the tool, the Keyword Me
Yeah.
tool. And you said you were probably going to go into the negative keyword part of it.
Yeah. The AI
How
part of it,
deep,
you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
um, well, the negative keyword list generation.
Yes. Yeah. 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 The competitor list generation, and there's I'm gonna
How
do another
deep,
one too.
how deep is that going to go? Because it goes way deep. I
It
mean, what were you planning on there? Because that seems to me to be almost an impossible job.
it depends. So how big, however big I set it at, like I can have it pull as big a list as I want. I can have it pull
Yeah,
10,000 if I wanted to. The issue
right.
is if somebody's buying AI tokens, if I
Yeah,
the more you pull, the more you're going to use. So I
right.
don't want someone to use it one time and then all their fucking tokens are gone for the month. You know what I mean? Because they
Yeah,
pulled a list of 10,000 negative keywords. So I'm
yeah.
trying to figure that out now. The
Did you have an
it's
option, Rob, to filter the list and go like, oh, I just want like a number. I want 100
yeah,
competitors or 500 or 1,000 in the tool. Could you put that
that's
in there?
that's a good idea. I could do that. Yeah, I'll probably have to do something like that.
Well,
Because
if you take the local part out of it, most niches are going to have pretty much the same negative keywords.
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of the same stuff. It's a lot of do-it-yourselfer stuff. It's a lot of supplies, materials, Home Depot, Lowe's, all that shit.
It's
Handyman
Surprised
stuff.
how many new ones come up every day though. I have a plumber with 10,000 or and we still
Yeah.
constantly new competitor names come up. I mean it's LA, so there's
Oh
you know,
yeah, it's huge, man.
thousands and
Yeah,
thousands of
just think of somebody talking into a mobile phone trying to find a roofer.
Yeah. So the way I'm designing it is the way I find it to be the most useful, and then the next step of its evolution is going to be where if somebody wants to run the negative keywords themselves, like how we do it, like we're adding that checkbox feature now, just to grab the whole keyword. That's done.
Yeah,
I'm rolling out to everyone in like a week.
yeah,
I was just beta testing it myself to make sure there's no conflictions. But like that's going to be like the manual side of the tool, right? Because there's some people who don't want to run AI, like Cascaders and AI one that just pulls a whole your search terms report and will just give you all of the search terms that it thinks you should
yeah.
negative, but you still got to fucking sort through it. Like it's
Right.
not a you pull the list and put it in your negative keywords, right? So I'm gonna have something similar to that. I'm gonna try to do it better than Cascader does it, but I also want to keep the manual side of it where somebody who just wants to build lists themselves because they know they can just copy it, paste it, and they're done with it and not have to pull the list, go through it line by line, and make sure they didn't add, possible good keywords. I feel like that's where the hang up is with the full AI stuff is I just don't trust it enough to just copy everything and paste it and put
I
it with
get you.
negative keywords.
I get you, and that's why I asked because it seems like an impossible job from your
I
end
mean,
of
I
it.
feel like it is, and everyone's like, well, it's the agentic AI and the MCP and the Agent Swarm stuff and all that shit, which is like totally going to change marketing forever. Like it's if you're
Yep.
not adopting it when it happens, you're going to be done because my biggest concern with it when they have AIs that can just you can type into it, hey, here's my CallRail login, here's my Instapage login, here's my GHL login. Set me up a Facebook ads campaign and all the tracking, and the agent swarm will go and do all the different things from all the different things and put together for you. Like then when that's publicly available, where somebody can just press a button like that and get a campaign built, and it will automatically A/B test all your creatives for you and do all that stuff. The problem I see with that, where it could go, I'm hoping it doesn't, is a race to the bottom, where it's like, all right, well, I'll do it for $10, right? Because everyone has access to the same technology. So it's always going to come back. At least my belief is it's always going to come back to Joe, the HVAC guy, is not going to want to run this himself, right? He's just not. He doesn't. He could try. It might work. It might not work. Remember Smart Ads for Google Ads? Like that was supposed to be that. Like you just put in your high level stuff and Google will send you calls. It's trash, and they got rid of it because it's trash.
Right.
So maybe it was just a precursor to a better thing, but I don't know. But there's always gonna be somebody that was always gonna have a marketer, in my opinion, to run the shit for them, to oversee, to make sure it stays on the rails and producing for them. You know, the day when you don't need that, I don't know what that looks like. I'm sure it will happen at some point in the future, but I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
I think it's going to go back to the point where you really need somebody more
Yeah,
than trying
it's
to
very
do it
confusing.
yourself.
The
Look, the PPC game is basically made for the top maybe 15% of each market. And those people ain't dumb.
no,
I mean, especially when you get into guys with big businesses and $150 clicks.
yeah,
So, but see, I'm kind of skewed because I'm looking at roofers. So
yeah.
that's not the normal game. I
I'm
understand that.
I'm shifting my perspective a lot from like just direct response ads to like offers and remarketing to get
Oh yeah.
on the back end and
Yep.
I don't know, man. I feel like the offer is going to be even more important in the future going forward than
Yep.
just like setting up an ad. Hey, I'm a roofer. You need a roof. We'll come out. We can have a crew out today or whatever, right? Very basic, direct, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to have some kind of hook or offer or something stronger than that. I think those ads are getting played out, especially with AI, because everyone's, you know, doing all that stuff now. Like craft me 15 offers and then, oh, I like this one, make 10 more like this one, and then you know what I mean? Like they're getting really clever with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the
I've
people who are
always,
good at it are like most people are not. Like right, like people in our group, so they can probably do that. Like a lot of people though, like don't, right? Because we have a lot of clients who will leave and then come back to us always. They always come back because then they go somewhere for probably shopping for price. They leave, they get fucked over completely, lose a bunch of money, and then they come back. And then, it's just like slap them with the ruler. We tell them we told you so. It's because we
yeah.
try to stay ahead of all that stuff. You know what I mean?
If you're
It's
smart enough to go in and do your research in AI about the total psychologies of the buyers,
Yeah.
and then you write your own offers, you're so far ahead of the game.
Oh my God. And that's like like less than 1% of marketers do that right now. And it's a huge thing, man. Like it's
It's pretty
insane.
much all about the offers.
Yeah.
Like you said. I mean, but that's a whole different game. Not everybody's playing that game. Like
Yeah.
maybe 5-10%, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
But that's
interesting.
my
I'm
opinion. Some
excited.
guys, you know,
I'm
There's
excited for it.
a lot of crappy marketers out there still.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
We know
Yeah.
that. Like I've just seen it more with these yellow page ones that I'm getting on board, and oh my gosh, the general contractor I told you about, Rod, that came
Yeah.
from Haibu, and I saw the Facebook ads that they're running. All they're running is just one image ad. They're not testing anything. There's a generic copy of
Yep.
just a photo of a house, and
Yep.
then we do construction. Give us a
Yeah.
call. Like
Yeah.
very super simple. And it went right to his crappy website.
It's
That
crazy, dude. And then they'll send the guy a report like, "Oh, look, you got 50 clicks last week.
he's had nothing. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm spending 2,000 a month. I've had nothing so far in 2 months.
You've reached
And
40
then
people."
his Google Ads, same thing, just
You know what
very
though? That's why I don't know if you guys ever noticed that whenever somebody who's newer, like a younger kid, will come into our group, and they'll start asking like, "What do I charge? What do I charge?" And the only thing I say it every time, the same thing every time is like, make sure you know what you're doing and do it for free until you
Yeah.
do, because it makes us all look bad when someone comes in. and undercuts everyone else. Like, I'll do it for $99 and fucks everything up, fucks the guy over. Everyone loses money. And then it makes marketers in general look bad. Like, don't do
Mhm.
that. You know what I mean? Like, just do it the right way. And I try and steer people towards that, like newer people.
Yeah.
But, you know, I
I
think
kind of like it. I like it when my competition does that.
well, there's a lot of those guys in roofing, man. There's a lot of
Oh,
those guys in
half,
roofing.
half of them.
Yeah.
And then they get 50 leads and don't even answer the phone.
I'm most excited for someone to invent, and if someone doesn't do it soon, I'm gonna try and figure it out. Something an AI that will create a landing page and then automatically A/B test it for you every time new traffic comes to it, different things, and just go through a checklist of optimizing it to get it converting. I think that would be the coolest thing ever, man, because that is like the biggest piece of
Have
marketing in
you
general.
have you used any of the AI landing page builders? I haven't yet, but my guy just sent me one yesterday that he was going to try
No, I don't even
to.
know of one. Is there one that already does it?
He sent me. I haven't even tried it yet. I'll send it to you, but he sent me one yesterday, and he's like, check this one out." So
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing because that's the biggest piece, right? I mean,
yeah.
getting the traffic's easy. Like we go through that in the Google Ads school courses. Everyone knows how to do that after going through there. Like the landing page, man, is a secret sauce. If you can have an AI do that for marketers, like, oh my God, that'd be
Mhm.
huge.
Yeah. I just I don't have much confidence in it because I don't even like
No,
the
I don't
AI
either.
image generator. I think most of the time it's pretty crappy.
They're usually shit. I've seen a couple of them. I'm talking one that will, you literally input like maybe a description of what the page is about. It generates the page. Then you can edit it from there, like the images,
Yeah,
all that
no,
stuff
that's
with
what I
your own
mean.
stuff.
Yeah,
And then it will go to work. Every time it takes traffic, maybe in loads of like 25 or 50 clicks, it auto updates and changes something to then run automatic split testing to see and try and continually up the percentage of conversion rate of the page on its own. That would be
yeah,
fucking cool, man.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I wish I was an AI engineer because I would totally be doing that shit all day long.
yeah.
I got enough
Do
fucking.
you, go ahead. Sorry. When you're asking Google questions, do you do mostly Gemini AI or what are you doing there?
I
Because
still use ChatGPT for a lot of stuff. My brother is huge on what is it, Grok? Grok?
yeah,
Yeah, my friend loves that too. He said he likes it the best.
Yeah, Grok's. I think Grok is like my brother Matt says Grok's the best. He's one with Commonly, and they just rolled out it's like an AI data analyzer for Commonly, where somebody who has a Commonly account can chat with their data, and based on what the data you have, I guess it like will give you suggestions like legit ones, not like Google suggestions on how to get more leads and how to get more things based on what the data tells them, which I think is really cool if it works. I'm like, dude, if this thing works, you're gonna be like,
yeah, it works.
riding off into the sunset.
If you're a guy that knows AI and you know the business pretty well,
Yeah.
you can spend a day asking it questions and have them build you the whole thing.
Yep.
But I mean, you got to have some sense. It does hallucinate a little bit. But I kept my Gemini just for asking Google questions.
Yeah.
And I don't want to taint it with anything else. And I'll tell you what, man, it gives me back some stuff that you would not believe.
It has memory function, right? So it remembers all previous
Oh yeah, yeah,
conversations. Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's good. Don't taint that then. Just keep it with strict Google Ad stuff.
yeah, yeah. And
I was amazed how
I think it's better than having a Google rep. I don't know.
Oh, I'm
I don't
sure it
know.
is. They're useless.
yeah, totally.
They're useless.
Okay, there's 100%.
Yeah. Right?
Stuff
It's
saves so
terrible.
much time and like just minor things that we come across, like landing page issues. I had one on a dog boarding place, and I was trying to get it to pull the name of the dog when like somebody's looking at the dog and they fill out the form. I wanted it to pull the name of the dog, and like give me back the thing, and it was like talking to a human. So it's this code. I'm like, give me the code, and so I put it in. It doesn't work. Like, does it work? He goes, oh, this is gonna work for sure. And I think it was like the ninth iteration. It was like, this for sure is going to work. Just try this, and it worked finally. So.
That's
But it's
great.
funny, like I feel like I'm talking to a human arguing with them right now, going like, I'm telling
I'm
you that
under I'm under the belief that in the next 5 years there won't even be people agents anymore, like taking questions and stuff. It's gonna be AI agents on the phone and on the chat.
well,
It could already be the chat. Who knows? They'll never tell you probably, but I
my
mean,
brother's a software engineer, and this company he just interviewed with, he said that when they lace or when somebody quits, like another software engineer,
yeah,
um, that department has to write up a whole justification of why they need to hire instead of if AI cannot handle that job.
Yeah,
And
no, that makes sense, man.
that's for every job that, get leaves or
Yeah.
um,
I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be amazing for the people who stay ahead of it and who implement it, right? Like people like us who have agencies or marketers. I mean, this could be amazing if you think about it, where you could essentially run a big agency with a team, a very small team, and a lot of AI,
mhm.
Yep.
right? I mean, it could be crazy. Like a lot of your support could be AI driven in a couple of years. Like you don't even need support people.
Yeah.
Like we're testing soon. As soon as we get the balls to do it, we're going to test having AI agent take our phone calls for the agency and then, redirect
Yeah.
them based on what the conversation is and where they need to go.
Mhm.
Or, just give us a note on what the changes the client wants to get changed, if it's a budget increase or if it's like something like that. But that scares me though, right? Changing budgets and shit with
Yeah.
something like that. But we're going to play around with it and see, what we can do with it. So I'll keep you guys updated too when we start doing that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm way down the rabbit hole on all that stuff.
Yeah, it's great. It's
The
fun.
best suggestion I can give to anybody is if you want to get good answers, learn how to be a prompt engineer.
Yep.
Take some prompt engineering courses, and if you do that, you'll understand a little bit about how it works, and then all of a sudden you'll start understanding how it does work and what you're supposed to ask it and what sequence and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Asking it a certain way.
it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
totally amazing when you get to a certain point.
I read
That's all I'm
something
gonna
the
say.
other
I don't
day
want to
that
sound like a, you know,
Yeah.
a
I read
nerd.
that that's dying the other day. They said that was the hot career of the last 2 years of, become like a high level prompt engineer.
Yeah.
Right.
And they said it's dying already because the AI is getting so smart. It's already kind of
Yeah, it's
building
crazy.
its own
It's going to innovate a lot of
prompts
things.
and can create its own language. So
I'm just glad Ed and I were looking at buying a call center 18 months ago. Thank fucking God we did not do that, man. That would have been a disaster, right? Because those places are not going to exist in 5 years, like maybe sooner, probably sooner.
Mm.
Like there's no reason for them anymore.
yeah,
Yeah,
Once
but
it
then
gets
again,
good enough,
the one that's still around will probably be gold.
probably because they'll be all AI agents.
Humans.
All right, listen, we got a minute left. I'm gonna cut it here, guys. Everybody, have a great weekend. And I'm also gonna do a new module in Google Ad School next week when I have time, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, because I'm doing a lot of this right now myself in my own agency of diagnosing and problem Google Ads accounts and fixing them and how I'm doing it. So I feel like that's a big piece that everyone's missing.
Yeah.
So I've been training my team on it. So I'm gonna drop everything I'm teaching them in Google Ad School too, so you guys can pull gold nuggets out of it.
nice.
All right.
Do you have any plans on doing a Facebook course, Rob?
I don't yet. I mean, I'd have to have Dustin do it if we do it because he's the one who builds them all. But I can talk to him for sure.
Cool.
Cool. All right, guys, get out of here. Have a great weekend.
Good
Thank
weekend.
you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Later.